There are two things that really pissed me off about this Trump administration, and really the entire Trump crime family now. The first is pretty obvious. It's their corruption. They are the most corrupt people in this entire country, and they seem to not care that we all know it. They just keep going on grifting and stealing from you. But the second thing that they do that just drives me crazy is they always make themselves the victims as they steal from me and you. They whine that we're upset that they are stealing from me and you. And the example that is kind of the combination of all of this. Ari Melber broke down on MSNBC today, a story that should put Donald Trump in jail and should have from the beginning, even before he was elected president the second time, and why they used their crimes to make themselves the victim. We're going to get into it all. But I want to start with Ari before we get to why this story should put Donald Trump and his whole family in jail.
Capital One had to close basically 300 bank accounts linked to Trump org. This was back in 21. And that was because of the idea that there were money laundering rules violated. This is a serious process. The bank's financial crimes team, with decades of law enforcement experience, made that call, as Reuters and NPR have reported. Now, the Trump org has brought this all to light because they're suing, claiming a political discrimination that this related to Jan 6. The bank basically saying no, and we have the receipts to show at least the rule violations that concern. Whether or not actual money laundering occurred has not really been litigated. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is gutting a law that is supposed to deal with shady shell companies that are used for money laundering, which is suspicious. There are more and more comparisons to Putin. In fact, we just heard from Russian-born novelist and Trump and Putin critic Gary Steingard on these parallels.
You wouldn't even do corruption this openly in a country like Russia. You would not do that brazen, obvious level of corruption. This is like old school, I don't know, 17th century, the king is always right and takes whatever he wants levels of corruption. I mean, nobody crimes like this.
Nobody crimes like this. And that's the Putin comparison. We're joined by NYU history professor Ruth Ben-Ghiat, author of Strongmen, Mussolini to the Present. What do you see here?
Yeah, I see corruption is at the heart of how autocrats operate, and transparency is the enemy of corruption. And so what is going on here, trying to, gut this corporate Transparency Act, which was a bipartisan measure. It was one of many things the Biden administration did to make financial malfeasance more difficult. And Marco Rubio called it my corporate Transparency Act. He was very proud of it. And it required people to, when they opened a shell company, to put down a name. So you couldn't be anonymous. And that matters because shell companies, and the U.S. is the largest, it's the country that's at the top of money laundering in the world. This has been so for some years. It's not just money laundering, though. It's funding terrorism, arms trafficking, drug trafficking, all kinds of malfeasance. And so, of course, the Trump administration, it's not only acting to cover up activities of U.S. People engaging in malfeasance, but also its many friends abroad, who Chinese kleptocrats, Russian kleptocrats, and so this is considered very serious. And Senator Malinowski, who was another sponsor of the bill, says it's one of the most lawless and corrupt things this administration has ever done.
And it comes amidst this other reporting that 300 some accounts were closed over what in bank terminology they call these AML concerns. They're major departments, usually called compliance departments, that deal with this. And most operating businesses don't have this type of problem. Now, I want to be clear, as I said, there hasn't been a court process to review whether actual money laundering occurred. But you can get your account closed for less than that because you're not going to jail. They're just saying there's too much smoke here. How do you view that story? And then what Steingard argued is kind of the blatant approach to all this.
So back during the first Trump administration, Congressman Adam Schiff talked about credible allegations of money laundering by Trump businesses. And and money laundering through real estate, helping Russians in particular, has long been reputed and an object of interest, let's say. So this goes right into that. But I want to say that for autocrats, the whole purpose of holding office is totally different than other kinds of leaders. It's not about public welfare. It's about rearranging government to be able to profit privately off of public office. And it's not just you, it's also your family, your kids, and cronies, and the families of cronies. And so we see this in the United States, and this has been going on at record speed. And so many people have said it's unprecedented in American history, but it's quite shockingly fast as a development, even if you compare it to the first 20 months of foreign autocracies. So we have Trump making $2.2 billion, his sons investing in drones and crypto, and of course, crypto is unregulated. We also have it spreading to the family of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. And so over time, this is how we get to what is called a mafia state, where you have these clans and their economic and financial malfeasance, kind of fiefdoms. And so what every political system, democracies included, can have individual people who are corrupt. Every corporation could have people who are corrupt. But what happens under autocracy is it becomes systemized, and the whole playbook. And so that's why they go after the media, so you can't expose their wrongdoing, and you'll get sued or put in jail. And then you take over the Justice Department and the judiciary. And so, you go after, you don't go after their crimes. So you have dereliction of duty, and you pardon financial and other types of criminals. Mussolini did that, Pinochet did that, and Trump has done that.
Now, if you follow the Trump administration, like I do, I am sorry, I apologize, and we should live a much happier life. But you are probably aware of Donald Trump's crypto grift. Now, I'm going to get to this story, but it all ties in. Donald Trump's crypto grift began at the behest of his 3 idiot children. Now, Donald Trump has 5 idiot children, but the 3 idiot boys. Barron really loves crypto, because he was a young crypto bro. And Eric and Don Jr. really loved crypto, because they saw the opportunity to scam with it. And they claim it was after they were debanked due to January 6th, the day that really was the most difficult. Not for, police officers who died or were traumatized. No. It was most difficult for Donald Trump and his family, 'cause boo-hoo, they always whine. They say that they were debanked after January 6th. This is what they always say, and thus it LED'd them to crypto because it's an independent market where no one can hold you down. No, it's a scammy, useless fake currency that is used by drug cartels and human traffickers and terrorists to buy weapons. It's not a good thing. It has no value, and it's environmental terrorism, but stick with me here. They said they were debanked because of January 6th and that the left had canceled Donald Trump out of banking. Obviously, according to this reporting and the records that they have obtained from Trump, the Trump family to the Trump Tower, the Trump Organization, all of them, they were just committing fraud. They were just money laundering. What? And it's more crime, it's more crime. It is more and more crime. It is all that they do. So what Donald Trump did, as Donald Trump always does, and as now I guess his idiot sons will always do, is take a real crime that they committed and say, oh, boo-hoo, we're being held accountable for this real crime that we committed, but it's actually not a real crime. It is instead a second non-existent thing that we can put around the packaging that is this poo-poo sandwich. They said it was the left canceling Trump, canceling him. Remember, because they package it with after my father was kicked off Twitter and kicked off Instagram, which he was quickly let back onto, let's be clear. They also kicked him out of banking, right? They pretended like it was this cancellation, and they were victims of the woke mob. You were breaking the law, your bank did not want to do banking with you because you were laundering money, and so that is how we have arrived at crypto now. Donald Trump, because he loves scams, and because he loves fraud, and because he loves grifting, probably would have arrived at crypto anyways. But it is just wild to me that for the past 3 years, maybe 4 years, you have heard these Trump kids talk about crypto as something that was necessary because of the woke mob. The woke mob is the reason that we needed the shitcoins, when in reality, they were just selling their idiot followers on idiot fake money that only loses regular people money. Regular working people say, oh man, maybe this is an investment opportunity. You get scammed, you get rug pulled, you get ripped off, the market collapses. The crypto market has collapsed, and they sold them on this so that they could cover up the fact that they lost access to their banks because of their money laundering. You should never, ever, ever believe anything that these people say, especially when they are making themselves the victim. Whenever conservatives are making themselves the victim, really start to investigate, right? Really start to look in. It's like when these manosphere guys talk about, how hard it is to be a man these days and why the women won't submit to us. It's like, well, pause for a second. You just sound like an asshole with an expectation of a human being to operate within a box as like a mommy for you that you saw in, like, some television show or a movie misaccurately or misrepresenting the 60s. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why is MAGA the perpetual victim? Do they not know that they are in power right now? And it's still always the victimhood and the complaining and the whining? Donald Trump should be in jail. Do we forget that every day he ran for president to get out of jail? He ran for president because he was committing financial fraud. He was a sex criminal. He was money laundering. That's the reason for this administration to exist. And instead of counting his lucky blessings that he is Teflon Don and has consistently escaped accountability, he goes, how about we double down? Let's double down on the scamming. Let's really push the limits of the scam. It is disgusting. It is expected, but it is disgusting this whole time. No surprise. They've been lying. They need to be in jail. The entire lot of them. The whole family. Throw Tiffany in there too. I don't know what Tiffany Trump does. Like, I truly don't know. I don't care. Just put them on cuffs. It's the easiest way to do this whole thing. My God, I just hate these people. Like, they pretended that they were a victim because they were doing money laundering, wild shit. We are gonna continue to call it all out on the show. If you want to support that, as always, please do hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.